March 1938. Hitler invades Austria. The Third Reich begins to flex its military muscle. Later that year, German scientists discover fission of the uranium nucleus, bringing the Third Reich one step closer to discovering the secret of the atomic bomb. Fear of German research stimulated intense efforts between government and the private sector, creating huge industries for the production of plutonium in Hanford, Washington, at the shores of the mighty Columbia River.
The Hanford Nuclear Reservation is the nation's largest and most contaminated waste site. Barrels that should have been put out of service 50 years ago are still in use, and they're leaking.
Recently, the government disclosed that 6 large underground tanks are leaking up to 2,000 liters of radioactive liquid per year. More than 200 million liters of radioactive liquids and 700,000 cubic meters of solid nuclear waste.
Now it's setting the stage for a showdown between Washington State and Washington, D.C.
We expect the Department of Energy to do something about that.
From lawmakers to public interest advocates to the governor himself, the calls for action are ringing loud and clear.
The tank leaks are shocking. The size of the leaks, the number of the leaks, and the fact that either the Department of Energy didn't know about this, or they weren't looking at the monitoring close enough, or they didn't disclose it to the public sooner.
Hanford will remain lethally radioactive for more than 80 million years.
Can't take it back. Once the radioactive waste is there, it's there.
This isn't the only issue at Hanford where we've got the potential for literally a catastrophic event happening.
What happens next at Hanford, and what kind of a long-term impact could this toxic leak have?
The fact that we've experienced leaks before should not, in my view, be any excuse or license to get out of jail for the federal government.
Officials say the leaks pose no immediate danger to the environment.
We're, of course, interested in the water because, after all, what affects the water affects the organisms.
Environmental stresses may threaten the health and long-term viability of the Hanford Reach Fall Chinook salmon, an important contributor to the nation's $1 billion Chinook salmon industry.
There are hundreds of thousands of jobs up and down the coast dependent on the health of our fisheries.
We're interested in the radioactive materials which are present in the plankton.
Salmon near the Hanford nuclear facility have changed sexes.
Its abundant waters, shores, and wildlife have supported generations of Native American tribes, including the Yakima.
The Yakima Nation has ceded rights on the land that the Hanford site sits now, is ceded land. We said, okay, you can use the land, but we retain the rights to that land, to gather our foods and medicines and to live in usual custom ways that we're used to.
It is a clean water issue for everyone who drinks water from anywhere in this basin.
Hanford wants you to believe is that the waste in the ground, you can't see it, so therefore you don't have to think about it. And their philosophy is if you can't see it, eventually you'll all forget about it.
For 50 years we have seen cover-up, deceit, lies,
social irresponsibility by our government and the leadership of this country. This is about Hanford and the river. Both are important symbols. The river is a symbol of life, the life of the earth, the life of living things, the life of people, and Hanford is a symbol of death. Death of our environment, death of living things, death of people. We are here not just to learn, but to act, and act as a part of a commitment that we share.